Good morning, all of you. Let us start the session. In our previous class, we have discussed regarding classification and the nature of torque. At the same time, what is load equalization and just wait. Load equalization and how you can say whether the system is stable or not by using stability criteria. That means steady state stability. And now it is comes into the extension of our previous topic, that is stability criteria. And from the last classes, just it is advantages and disadvantages and applications of electrical drives. Just see the screen. We will move to our topic, that is load equalization and stability criteria. First of all, listen. Actually, in industrial applications, most of the people does not vary a constant load. The load must be variable with respect to time. That means you can say the load is going to be fluctuated and within the given time. Where the load fluctuations are going to be occurred means, for example, small applications are given here: electric hammers, pressers, reciprocating pumps, etc. And here, from the stability criteria, in the last class, we know that load torque is always more than that of our drive torque, that is motor torque. So TL is more than that of T. I'm requesting all of you, please mute yourself. All of you, please listen the derivation, observe this. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Initially, we are assuming that our load torque is more than that of the motor torque, then only our system comes into stability region. And just wait. So I am moving on. So from that, you are preparing a derivation, that is d by TL of d omega m. What is actually omega m? Can anyone say what is that? What is omega m? Anyone please respond? It is angular velocity of the motor. So change in torque with respect to angular velocity of the motor is always more than that of change in speed with respect to angular speed or velocity of the motor. And in this case, you are considering there is a small change in speed. General speed is omega m, angular speed with respect to motor, omega m. But here we are considering there existing a small disturbance in the speed, that is W omega change covered delta. So delta omega m. For this corresponding change, there is a small change in load torque and motor torque. And these change in load torque and motor torque are represented by delta TL and delta T. Listen to the statement carefully. We are considering a small perturbation is going to be occurred in the motor, and due to this perturbation, a change in speed is occurred, that is represented by delta omega m. Due to this change in speed, it leads to corresponding change in load torque and motor torque. And these changes are represented by delta TL and delta T. Right? And from the initial topic, that is load torque expression, you know that torque is given by TL, that is load torque, plus J into d omega m by dt. And we are assuming this is the equation number 1. Note down it as carefully. And after completing the derivation, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. I will clarify all the doubts raised by you. Next, in this expression, I am applying the change parameters. That is, then normal torque becomes change in torque. That is equal to load torque becomes change in load torque plus J into d by dt of omega m becomes change in omega m. And we are representing this equation as equation number 2. Regarding this, if you have any doubt, you can ask me up to now. Please mute yourself. So I am moving on. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Right. So for this, that means already you know that torque T is equal to TL plus J into d omega m by dt from this previous class, that is previous slide 1, 2. Add the equations 1 and 2. Then we will get T plus delta T equal to TL plus delta TL plus J into d omega m by dt plus J into d by dt of delta omega m. Now, actually, some person is asking the expression for T plus delta T. That is summation of torque, regulation torque plus change in torque. But someone is asking that just I want to know the change in torque with respect to change in load torque. That is motor change torque with respect to load torque. Then you have to do this expression, that is 3 minus 2. First of all, note down the expression 3. First of all, note down expression 3. And from this expression, subtract equation number 2. T minus delta T minus delta TL. You will get the expression like this and say it is equation number 4. And for this motor, you are considering that the speed torque characteristics of motor and load are assumed to be straight lines. And there is no curves and exponential or constant. Just you are assuming that the speed torque curves of the motor are a straight lines, that is linearly increasing. So for these characteristics, the given terms are, that is change in torque with respect to time is nothing but change in angular velocity with respect to, that is delta by d, omega m by omega m. Just we are assuming these equations. Just wait, I will take the annotations for you. And from this expression, we are writing the expression for only delta t. It will become dt by d omega m into delta omega m. Again, you have to write the same expression. Just like torque, you have to write for load torque. So delta TL by dTL is equal to delta omega m by d omega m. Again, from this expression also, you have to write the expression for delta TL. So delta TL is equal to, shift the dTL with respect to right hand side. So dTL by d omega m into delta omega m. First of all, note down these expressions 5 and 6. Note down the expressions 5 and 6. Can I move on or can I wait?
Move on, madam.
So what we are doing is from equation 4, that is, just I am writing the expression 4. Delta T minus delta TL is equal to, just I am writing the expression here. See this? And equation 5 and equation 6 are nothing but delta T and delta TL. Replace these terms. dt by dt omega m into delta omega m minus delta TL as dTL by d omega m into delta omega m. Just do the simplification further. That is delta omega m and delta omega m is common in this both terms. So make it as common. And write the expression that is equal to 0. Not in two terms of left hand side and right hand side. Just a single equation. That is like expression. So it is the final expression of analytical drive. when it is in steady state criteria. So please note down the expression. Can I move on or can I wait? All of you respond. Okay. Next one is our last topic in this unit, that is how an electrical drive is going to be operated in 4 quadrants. That is 4 quadrant operation of an electrical drive. Is my voice is clearly audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So, see the screen carefully. With this help of this diagram, we are going to explain how this drive, just we are assuming this is the drive, this drive is going to be operate in our 4 quadrants, right? First of all, just wait. Okay, so this screen, it is very clear to us. It is nothing but the speed torque characteristics of 4 quadrants. It is quadrant 1 and it is quadrant 2, it is quadrant 3 and it is quadrant 4. In this drive, how we have to explain, that is with the help of this diagram, how we are going to explain this is going to be operate in 4 quadrants. Just imagine this. First of all, with the help of one diagram, you can easily explain remaining 3 quadrants. A small circle is going to be existed here. For all of you, it is visible to you clearly. I am representing with an spotlight. This circle is visible to you.
Yes, madam.
Right. Just it behaves like a pulley. You can pull the rope towards to left hand side or towards to right hand side, depending upon the requirement. It behaves like a pulley. And for this pulley, just a thread is connected here with the help of thread or a rope. For this rope, into the left hand side, a counterweight is connected. That means some weight is going to be placed here. And for this rope, in the other hand, a cage is connected. And you can say, what is this cage? Sometimes you can place some weight in this cage, or sometimes you can't place any cage, any weight. That's why we are caging it as, just see the all the graphs, it is loaded cage. That means in this case, some weight we are placed. That's why we are calling it as loaded cage. And in the some other place, there is no weight in this cage. That's why we are calling it as empty cage. And in some place, again an empty cage is present here, and some in other case, loaded cage is present here. So only there are 3 main parts. One is pulley, and for this pulley, a rope is connected, and at the ends of the rope, 2 parts are connected. One is counterweight. With the help of this counterweight only, you can pull or push the load or empty cage. And at the other hand of the rope, a cage is connected. According to the situations, the cage may be empty or the loaded cage. And whenever you are observing this picture clearly, can anyone from this group just see the picture carefully and tell me what the work here you have to do? Just you have to pull the loaded cage towards to counterweight or towards to the cage. What the work we have to do? Can anyone guess that? All of you, my question
Towards
is
the
clear to you or
counterweight,
not?
madam.
My question is clear
Towards
to
the
you or
counterweight,
not?
అనుకుంటున్నాను madam.
Towards to counterweight. That
Yes, ma'am. It's clear,
means just listen this arrow. See this arrow. This arrow is towards to upward direction. That means here the work is we have to pull the rope towards to upward direction. That means loaded case must be pulled towards to upward. And whenever you are doing this, what happens to this cage and what happens to this counterweight? You are pulling the rope at the situation. This counterweight is going to be move towards to downward or going back to right hand
Increased,
side.
madam.
Tell me, Chandu.
Downward, madam.
Yes, you're pulling the rope. That means this counterweight is going, so just wait, I'm drawing this. This counterweight is going to be pulled towards to downward direction. Is it right? That means applied
Yes,
task
madam.
is in anti-clockwise direction or clockwise direction. You are moving like this downwards. That means you are applying like this or not?
Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise. Okay, one thing is over. And you're pulling the loading case. So what about this case speed? Towards to clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction? Speed of the case.
Anti-clockwise, madam.
So anti-clockwise direction. So speed is also in anti-clockwise direction and torque is also anti-clockwise direction. If it is, just wait. If it is existing like this, then how can you say the speed is positive or torque is positive? How can you say that? Actually, whenever this work is going on, we can clearly say that your case is operating in quadrant 1. Quadrant 1 means our 4 quadrants, x-axis parameter is torque and y-axis parameter is speed. And quadrant 1, what is happening to these two parameters? Torque and speed are positive or negative?
Torque and speed are negative, madam.
Whenever only torque and speed are positive, then only our corresponding drive or machine is going to be operating quadrant 1. Do you accept with me or not? In general sense.
Okay, madam.
The parameters taken
Yes,
in
madam.
x-axis and y-axis are positive, then only the corresponding system is going to be operating quadrant 1, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. But up to now, what we have done is just we have to know the work, what we have to do. Just you have to pull the counterweight. That means you are moving the loaded cage towards to the upward direction. Is it right? And based upon this work, you are applying the torque in anti-clockwise direction. Because of this applied torque, our loading cage is rotating with some speed towards to the upward direction. So again, the speed of the loaded cage is also in anti-clockwise direction. So now listen carefully. It is the first assumption in this topic for quadrants. Whenever you are considering any parameter and you have to say whether the parameter is in positive direction or negative direction, first of all, you have to observe the rotation speed direction. If it is in clockwise direction, take it as negative. If it is in anti-clockwise direction, take it as positive. Now tell me, this torque is in anti-clockwise direction or clockwise direction?
Anti-clockwise, madam.
So it is positive or negative?
Positive, madam.
Positive, right? Next, what about
Madam,
speed? It is in anti-clockwise direction or clockwise direction?
Anti-clockwise ఉంది మేడం అది కూడా.
So positive or negative?
Positive,
Again,
madam.
it is positive. So torque and speed both are positive. So what about your drive operation? Is it in first quadrant or second or third or fourth?
First quadrant, madam.
So your drive is going to operate in first quadrant, right?
Madam?
Just wait. First of all, tell me once, then you can ask me any doubt. Just
Okay,
wait
madam.
for 5 minutes.
Okay, madam.
Just initially assume that the counterweight has maintained some weight. Is it right or not? The counterweight has to maintain some weight. Is it right or
Yes,
not in general sense?
Yes, madam.
If there is no weight in this counterweight, then your loaded cage must be at the ground level. That means there is no possibility of rope here. Is it right? And there is an exception case, that is how much weight you have to place in this counterweight. Just don't confuse. It is the counterweight and it is the case. Maybe loaded cage or empty cage. The weight of the counterweight must be in between the two limits. What is the two limits means? First one is empty cage and second one is loaded cage. It has to maintain the average value of the cage weight. Is it okay for you? That is the medium value. Is it clear to you or not?
It's clear, madam.
The counterweight has to maintain the weight which is more than that of the empty cage and less than that of loaded cage. So one thing is clear. With the help of the sum weight, you are going to pull or leave the rope for corresponding cage operation. In the first case, you are taking the loaded cage. And in the second case, you are taking the empty cage. Just think it once, in which place you have to apply the maximum torque, either for case 1 or case 2. For which case you have to apply more torque?
Case 2, madam.
Case 2, you have to apply for more weight.
Madam, case by madam.
Just listen my question and answer me. I have explained the case 1. I am saying it is the case 1, okay? And I am saying it is the case 2. Here, by applying some torque, capital T, you are going to do some work that is corresponding to loaded cage. For this, you are doing some work that is moving the cage or leaving the cage. And in this case too also, by applying some torque, you are going to do some work. In which case, the applied torque is high or low? Either in case 1 or case 2. First of all, my question is clear to you or not? Tell me that.
అంటే వర్క్ అంటే కేజీని మూవ్ చేయడానికా మేడం, లేదంటే కౌంటర్ వెయిట్ మూవ్ చేయడానికి అనేది అర్థం కాలేదు మేడం. అక్కడ సెకండ్ కేజ్
విత్ ద హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ కౌంటర్ వెయిట్.
కేజ్ ఎంటీ అయినప్పుడు మనం టార్క్ అప్లై చేసిన అవసరం లేదు కదా మేడం, ఆటోమేటిక్ కిందకి వచ్చేది కదా.
రైట్, ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ. మనం జస్ట్ కాల్ టేక్ ఎన్ ప్రాక్టికల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. A person is standing there. He is a healthy person and he has to carry 2 bags. One is empty bag and second one is loaded bag. Which one is easy for that person? Either loaded bag or empty bag?
Empty bag is easy, madam.
Always for any person, empty bag is very easy to carry. Just like this. Here a loaded cage is there and here an empty cage is there. What you have to do means, in both cases, you have to move this case towards to upward direction also. Just see these 2 graphs, 2 cases. Upward direction motion and upward direction motion. In these 2 cases, you have to move the cage towards to upward direction. And you are using same counterweight. There is no change. So which one is easy for you? Either case 1 or case 2?
2, madam.
Case 2 is very easy. Why? Because by applying some small torque, you can move this cage towards to upward direction, right? Now, tell me, just by pulling the counterweight slightly, you can move the cage towards to upward. Is it right? What about the speed of this cage? Is in clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction? Is it clear to you or not? Just see the screen. You're moving the case towards to the right hand, towards to upward direction. That means your case is moving in anti-clockwise direction. That is speed. So speed is positive, and you are applying the torque towards to the cage, that is clockwise direction. So the torque becomes as a positive or negative torque. So speed is positive and torque is negative here. Just I am indicating with respect to polarities. And in the third case, the thing is going to be reversed. Here again, we are using an empty cage, but the empty cage is in the upward place. We have to move this cage towards the ground level. So from the top level, we have to move the cage to the ground level. So again, the speed is in clockwise direction, and in order to change this empty cage from top level to bottom level, the applied torque is also going to be in anti-clockwise direction. That is torque and speed. Both are in anti-clockwise direction. So for this both, the torques and speed are negative direction. That's why it is operating in quadrant 3. And do the same procedure for this quadrant 4. What the work here is, instead of empty cage, a loaded cage is added here, and we have to do the work is, you have to move this loaded cage from top level to the ground level. Just check it once. What happens to this? From these 3 quadrants, you can easily explain the 4th quadrant. That speed as negative and torque as positive. In this manner, you can explain the 4th quadrant operation of a drive. First of all, you have to explain what are the parameters you are taking here. With respect to hoist load means nothing but a pulley. And this pulley, you are connecting a load with respect to the cage. So, 4 quadrant operation of a motor driving a hoist load. First of all, you have to explain the parameter you are taking here. On x-axis, you are taking the torque, and y-axis, you are taking the speed of the motor, omega m. And here you are considering 3 parameters, but instead of these 3, you can write 2 also. One is torque and second one is speed. And in this picture, here another torque is explained, that is load torque. And from the basics of the torque expression, it is clear that always the load torque and torque directions are opposite to each other. You can check it once. The direction of torque and load torque are always opposite to each other, which is explained in our previous classes. And next, we have to explain the parameters just like T, TL, and omega m. What is counterweight, and what is loaded cage and empty cage, and how the counterweight has to maintain some work, and what is the limitation. And then you can explain the 4 quadrants one by one. First quadrant, second, third, and 4, etc. We have to explain all the quadrants with respect to signs of torques and speed and corresponding quadrant operation. With this quadrant operation of a motor with respect to hoist load is completed. There is a last topic is balance here, that is braking techniques of a DC motor, and that will be discussed in the next class. That means within the next class you are going to complete your first unit. So we will continue in the next class.